Hi Stampers, Mindy here. I have a super cute card for you today, and I'm going to shoot a video of it. It's for Easter. I just did a swap over on our demonstrator website for Easter, and this was the card that I made. It features the tulip frame embossing folder. I've done the top note embossed with the linen embossing folder. And then I used the 3-inch circle die from Sizzix from the Occasions Mini. And I did an emboss resist technique with this, which I will show you if I don't get tongue-tied. The decorative label punch, and then the really cute little rosettes, also from the Occasions Mini. So I've done a little bit of the prep work first. A couple of things that I have done already. I've already prepared the top note, so I cut it out. I stamped this is the stamp set. I stamped the kind of cherry blossom image on it randomly. I ran it through the folder, and then I also sponged the edges with crumb cake, and I don't know if you can see, is that too close? But I also sprayed it with the vanilla smooch spray, and it's real pretty and shimmery. So I've done that already. I have also, you saw me do this on an earlier tutorial. I ran the card front through the Big Shot with the embossing folder, and then I also cut out my circle with the 3-inch circle die. So to get started, grab my card front here. No, I have it over here. I'm going to lots and lots and lots of sponging on this card, and I made 8 of them, 2 for me and 6 for the swap. I don't like mass producing, so that's a lot, and it was a lot of sponging. My arms are tired. So you just sponge that on here. Again, I take the tab punch and staple to my sponge with the cardstock so I know what color it is. So that's done. And then I'm going to take my Blushing Bride and very lightly and kind of just quickly, not really sponging the edges, I'm just sponging on the raised, the embossed parts to make them stand out just a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so I'm done with that. And now I will show you the fun part, which is the embossing. Now I always do this on a scrap piece of paper, so I'm going to take my embossing buddy first and run it lightly over this. Make sure you don't have any extra embossing powder where you don't want it, and I always tap this off a little bit in the trash can. I'm going to take some Versamark, and I have my little girl image here. Now I have trouble inking her skirt every now and then, so I just want to make sure there's no spots in there. So I'll line that up. I press down for a couple of seconds, pull it off, and I keep my embossing powders labeled in Ziploc containers with a spoon. It's not very centered, but she'll work. So I'm going to pour that over, make sure she's all covered, and give it a couple of good taps. Put the lid back on so you don't have a mess when the heat comes out. This is not a Stampin' Up! Heat gun. It does not work quite as well. It's going to get loud when I turn it on. If you're not familiar with heat embossing, we're just going to heat this until the powder turns into a smooth kind of glassy surface. It's going to melt, so here we go. Excuse the noise. I don't know if you're able to see this on the film. Alright. Now you do want to let this cool for a bit. So I have another one ready to go here. So this is one I did earlier. I'm going to break that ink pad out again. Now I like to start kind of near the center of the image. And that ink is going to absorb into the paper, but not where you embossed it. And I kind of like to go in circles. And I do, in this particular case, want the center of the image maybe a little darker than the outer edge. So I just work there first and work my way out. And then I'm just going to quickly run some ink over the edges. Now what's really going to make this pop is taking a tissue or a paper towel and wiping the embossed image off. So now that's done. One of the last things before we assemble is, of course, more sponging in a minute, but I've got some Blushing Bright cardstock, and this is soft suede ink. I have the Happy Easter stamp here. Stamp that. And then grab my label punch. Line that up. Pop it out. And one final sponging just to add a little dimension, a little more depth. It doesn't look so stark because everything else is sponged. Sometimes if you sponge one thing on a card, it seems like you need to sponge everything. So to assemble, we will use our adhesive. I'm using snail today. Make sure I got it right. Oh, my paper. I suppose I should do things straight. I'm going to put that down. With snail, I like to turn it over. Give it a good rub where there's adhesive on the back. Now the panel is going to go on with some dimensionals. I'm going to put one in the middle. I use a lot of dimensionals. This is going to turn out a lot better if you use a bunch of them since it's a wide space. Peel these off. And of course I'm going to have trouble getting them off today. Guess I should have done this beforehand too. Note to self. This is a new pack and they seem to really be stuck on there. And of course I'm in a hurry, wanting to get these off here so we can move on. And so my video isn't forever. Okay. So I'm just going to center this best I can. Press down. And then I'm going to put my girl on next. And I like to just go around the edges of the circle. And then one in the middle. And I'm going to have her, paper keeps moving. She's just got a border on every side of her. Press that down real good. And then we're going to take our Happy Easter. And that's going to go right in there. Again, press down. And now for my favorite little part of it, I'm going to use some glue dots. That's how I am attaching these little rosettes. They work pretty well, and I just take the glue dot, and I usually put about 2 to 3 on so that they stick really well. And then I just firmly press down. I've got one medium-sized flower and then one, I don't know if you can see that, the glue dots, larger size flower. And I'm just putting those on the corner right next to each other and press down. And voila, one swap card done. I hope everybody who got these enjoyed them. And now you can make your own. So thanks for joining me today. Happy stamping. Bye-bye.